Come back. In a strongly worded statement against China, External Affairs Minister of India Dr. S Jaishankar has called out Beijing for blocking the listing of Pakistan-based terrorists at the United Nations Security Council. Though he didn't mention China by name, his message clearly highlighted the double standards that the country was adopting when it came to terrorism.
The fight against impunity is critical to the larger pursuit of securing peace and justice. The Security Council must send an unambiguous and unequivocal message on this count. Politics should never, ever provide cover to evade accountability, nor indeed to facilitate impunity. Regrettably, we have seen this of late in this very chamber when it comes to sanctioning of some of the world's most dreaded terrorists. If egregious attacks committed in broad daylight are left unpunished, this Council must reflect on the signals we are sending on impunity.
Madhav joins us to help us understand the implications of this very strategically important statement made by the External Affairs Minister. Madhav, this comes right after the SCO where India, China, Russia were all on the same table.
Well, of course, that is a separate aspect altogether. The fact is that India and India's own, diplomatic requirements are such that China, which has been stalling, any kind of action against known terrorists, those who have been responsible and stated in multiple charge sheets, in fact, being responsible for terror attacks on Indian soil, are being given safe haven in China. And the fact that China has time and again stalled their announcement as, proclaimed terrorists is something that has irked India. It's not happening for the first time, and perhaps given China and Pakistan's close links, we can surmise it perhaps not happening for the last time either. But India certainly exposing China on the international platform, saying that there cannot be two standards when it comes to terror, and unfortunately that's what has been seen time and again, particularly with China vetoing or in some manner or the other stonewalling whatever India has wanted vis-a-vis terrorists who are operating from Pakistani soil. India has been very clear that it wants Pakistan to act on it, it wants the international committee to be aware of it, Committee of Nations to be aware of it, but China time and again has tried to stall this, and that's exactly what the S Jaishankar, the External Affairs Minister of India, has been saying as far as this particular platform is concerned, and India once again trying to expose China on the international stage.
Right, and let's tell our viewers now what really prompted this particular statement from the minister. China has blocked India's move on listing terrorists at the United Nations Security Council. While China thwarted India's attempt to designate Masood Azhar as an international terrorist, as well known, earlier this month, the country continued its doublespeak. It halted the listing of 26/11 terror attack accused Sajid Mir. Sajid Mir, based in Pakistan, has a bounty of $5 million on his head announced by the FBI of the US. It also blocked Abdul Rahman Maki's listing. He's the 26/11 mastermind, Masood Azhar's brother-in-law involved in raising funds for terror, and of Abdul Rauf as well. Joining me now from the newsroom is Pratibha. Pratibha, run us through the details that you have.
That's right. So there's a very strong message that has come in from Jaishankar, Priya, and what was the reason for it? Yet again, blocking of the terror listing by China. We've seen, of course, with Masood Azhar as well, it has happened previously in 2016, in 2017. Very clearly, the mastermind of the 26/11 terror attacks. Back then as well, China had blocked it. Apart from that, now Sajid Mir, this is one of the three names that China has blocked this time around. The terror linked to him, of course, being the 26/11, he is a handler, second in command of the JOD as well, Abdul Rahman Maki as well. Another terror listing stopped by China, and Abdul Rauf Azhar, the deputy chief of Jaish-e-Mohammed. The charges against them being on the links to the 26/11, being handlers in the case, infusing terror in the valley, and of course in one of the hijacking in the country as well, the 1999. Right. So now these are some of the names, the listing of which the China had.
Yes, and it is precisely this doublespeak, Pratibha, that the External Affairs Minister called out. He also, while speaking, recalled his first meeting with Prime Minister Narendra Modi in New York. He said, "I liked Narendra Modi before I met him, and here is why."
I frankly liked Mr. Modi before I met Mr. Modi, but I found someone who, the level of preparation which was done actually set him apart. That's not what we associate